Humans have had a close relationship with animals for thousands of years. Scientists agree the domestic dog has been a trusted pet for around 15,000 years. And cats became part of the household from 10,000 years ago. And now it's estimated there are at least 600 million pet cats in the world. Exotic pets have also been kept for thousands of years. It's well documented that the Egyptians kept baboons as pets, and exotic animals kept in the home feature in many ancient texts. In modern times, the keeping of exotic pets has increased. A staggering statistic is that there are more tigers in the U.S. alone than there are in the wild. Animal owners truly believe they are playing a role in preserving the numbers of exotic animals. But on the other side of the debate, there are those who believe it is a cruel practice to keep any animals in captivity. This series explores the issues from both sides, from those who know the dangers, but see the benefits, to others who condemn the keeping of exotic pets. Their stories follow. Driving one of these big trucks is a woman who, if you met at a truck stop, you would see what you think is a tough but fairly normal person. But this truck driver is far from normal, but in a pleasant, caring way. Bonnie is an interstate truck driver, but when she gets home, her life is about her animals.
I rescued her. She had a broken leg when she was a puppy, and they were going to put her down, and I said, how much do you want? How much is the vet going to charge you to put her down? And he said, oh, $50. I said, well, I'll give you the $50 and take the dog.
Bonnie's ranch is far from ordinary. Let's start with the dogs.
I've had up to 50, but being that I'm driving truck all the time now, it's too much. 20 is a little much anyway. It's a lot of work. And I have a great guy that comes out here and works and helps me do stuff. You know, it gets monotonous. I mean, because, you know, you got some that when I'm gone stay in the house and they don't get out. So, you know, you have a mess to clean up. The guys, you know how guys are about doing that. But they do a pretty good job, I have to admit. But, because I got some really old girls in here that are in their, you know, 14, 15 years old. And they can't take this heat and they can't take the bad weather. So you just have to do what you got to do. He's the one that brought the bears home. This is Reno, and he is a giant schnauzer. This is not something that's happened just all of a sudden, trust me. I've been doing this, like I said, for many, many years. I don't think anybody could have enough dogs. I mean, dogs are your buddies.
That's the dogs, about a dozen of them. Next, exotic parrots.
You shut up. You shut up. What did I tell you about that, talking like that? Give Mama a kiss. You love Mama? Oh, I love you too. He's very intelligent. He can do all kinds of little things when he wants to, but getting him to do it's another story. It's like, you know, I don't have to, don't make me.
From there, it's horses, about 10 of them. And then an unlikely friend, a fully grown adult steer.
He's a very good pet. I probably could ride him if I wanted to, but he's a very good pet. Everybody thinks I ought to sell him, but I can't sell him. He's a pet. Shrek is a miniature mule. That's his mama right there.
Yes, that's a bear off in the distance, and its neighbors do eat a lot.
This is what the tigers eat. This is my so-called dispensary. They get chicken. This is what they're getting today. They're getting steaks, yum.
You heard right, tigers.
You have to try to give them variety. You have to give them chicken, you have to give them beef, pork, you give them horse meat. We do get deer in. This is the freezer for chicken. My people that work for me, so what I have them do is I have them take the chicken out and I make them look at the label for the weight and I tell them exactly how much I want fed every day. So for them to calibrate it, and then we have records that we keep on how much they eat, who didn't eat what today. Technically, USDA requires you to do that, but I do it on my own because if something happens, I can go to the vet and say, okay, this is what this tiger's done all week long, and he has a better frame of mind of what's happening. This is what the bears eat. This is the bear freezer. We have yogurts, we have butter, we have creams, rice pudding, a little bit of everything. Their favorite, ice cream.
If you're getting a feeling that this is Noah's Ark, you are right. Bonnie is a serious animal lover. Just think about what all those treats cost. Her 2 American black bears were accidental strays. The 750,000 black bears in America kill less than 1 person per year, and attacks in captivity are rare. But is Bonnie at risk with her bears? The answer to that is more about how they are looked after rather than whether or not they're dangerous. Contrast that with 26 deaths by dog attack each year, although there are millions of dogs in the U.S. alone.
This is Bam Bam and Pebbles. They're about 4 years old now. They came to me. I have big black schnauzer I have. He's a giant. They were following him, and I thought they were dogs, but they end up being bears. And once they got the bottle and realized what was going on, they became my pets. These are American black bears. Come on, show them how tall you are. Good boy, good boy. Come on, good girl. Oh, Mama, baby loves you. Mama loves you. I know. And these are my babies, and they've got really long claws, as you can tell, and they usually tear me up. There you go. Good girl. Pebbles, Bam Bam, stand up. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Good boy. Hey, you're stealing them. Okay. They're stealing them. They're stealing them. Good boy. Yes, sir. Mama loves you. I love these bears. You can get in here and I can mess with them. Of course, you don't want to ever trust them because they show no sign that they're going to attack you. I have been bit, I've been clawed, I've been knocked down by them, and usually I carry a taser with me when I'm out here by myself so I can get up. And she's about as unpredictable as you can get. I've scared her and she's turned around and, I walked up on her too quiet and I've scared her and she came at me. But, it wasn't an attack. As soon as she realized it was me, she stopped. I can't express enough that these are wild animals and their mind can change at any moment. They can be killers in a matter of seconds if they wanted to. I have found with my experience with animals, exotics, domesticated, you feed them well, you take care of them well, you give them plenty to eat, they seem to be fine. When you start not feeding them and doing what you're not supposed to do, you hurt them, then they hurt you back. If you come at them aggressively, they're gonna come right back to you aggressively. Like if they're doing something and she's wanting to bite me, I just change her mind and go, no, it's okay. You turn the tables on them. And loud noises will scare them. There's times that, like I'm doing something and they're being nosy, if I don't want them around, I'll slap the side of the tank and they run. I'm not a bear expert and never claimed to be, but being with these, and these are my first challenge with them, I've learned a lot. It's been trial and error. I think they're doing good. I think I'm doing okay with them. Some people may say I'm not, but they seem happy to me, don't they, to you? They're very easy to take care of. I'm really surprised. I've offered them meat, I've offered them fish. I put 4 rolls of hay out there day before yesterday. Look how easy they mangled it. They go up in the trees, they get on them, they climb up on them. They get way up there. They come down to eat and to pick on me. Have you touched one? Come here. Bam, Bam. Come over here on this side, touch the butt.
These bears can be dangerous, but that is also part of their appeal. And this could be why predator pets are popular. The feeling of being with these animals is a mixture of fear and fascination.
I'm slightly worried now. Oh, he's licking me.
Oh, dinner. They're very strong. They can take a log and they can literally push it, move it wherever they want to. Oh, look at that. Is that good? When she comes in heat, she gets a little cantankerous and she can get pretty rough with him. But he doesn't show any aggression. He just does his own thing and gets in a different tree. Like a man, goes to a man cave.
Yep.
But this is my baby right here. This is my baby. Yeah. My main concern is keeping them where they're supposed to be, keep them fed, and like I said again, as long as you feed them well, they're not going anywhere. And these guys here can't go back out in the wild because they don't know how to feed themselves. So basically they're mine until I die, and then when I'm dead, I have a sanctuary that's going to take them, and that will take them and the cats. So they already have a place to go. This way people won't have to say, well, she's an old woman, where are they going to go when she dies? Well, there is a place for them to go. And it's a wonderful place. And they will care for them like I care for them. Been there a zillion times to keep on different times and make sure how they take care of their animals, and I'm very impressed. I don't know how long they're going to live and how long I'm going to live, so there we go. They stand on the edge, and this is what happens to my $500 stock tank. Huh? More toys? Huh?
For our crew, bears are one thing, but Bonnie's apex pets require a little more respect. It is estimated that there are more tigers in the U.S. than in the wild globally. Bonnie's younger tiger was born in captivity, and to Bonnie, he is just a big playful cat.
She's, just that playful teenager stage where everybody's a toy and everything we have is a toy. No, gentle. You notice how she has not hurt the dog? Mm-hmm. He hasn't yelped or anything. What are you doing with the water? That's called chuffing. She goes, what was that? Oh, don't run. No. Oh, are you okay?
The concern is what will happen when the big cat reaches maturity. Incidents of pet tigers killing people are rare, but we have to always remember they are an apex killer. So Bonnie, one way or the other, is taking a risk.
Ow! Here, there's a stick.
You want a stick, Bonnie?
Bonnie, here's a stick.
No, I got it.
No, you stop. Now, come on.
Ooh.
Don't bite my leg.
Not just with one tiger, her second one is a fully grown female.
Well, she came to me 7 years ago. She had ringworm and a yeast infection all over her hair, and she was pretty poor, but now you can tell she's magnificent. She's healthy, and she's not that she doesn't like that cat. She's just telling it to back off. But she's my baby, and I love her. Well, she weighs 450 pounds. I go in there and pet her, and I do clean the pen, do everything like I do with like I did with the other cat. But when people are here and the cameras, she gets bashful. So, and I think, she's back here in the back. She don't get a lot of people here to socialize with her. If she had more people to socialize with her, she'd probably be all over us. But really, she's a very good cat. She's not mean. She's not aggressive. When she's scared, you saw what she did. She kind of growls a little bit, But, that's just to show you to back off. She's a tiger. Again, don't feed her. She'll eat you. I've only been scared of one cat in my life. I was in the pen with two cats, and I was against the fence like this, and they double teamed me. one come here and one come here. They've never hurt me, but it is definitely a feeling that, okay, this could be it. But otherwise, no, I'm not afraid of them. I mean, I should be. I mean, I'm very let's put that a different way. I'm not scared of them, but I'm very cautious of them. You can't, I don't know how to explain this feeling, but I mean, I just don't have the fear of them, but I know they can kill me. I know they can hurt me. I don't turn my back on them. I mean, I know what they are. I know that they can be an aggressive animal, and they can be friendly one day and be an idiot the next day. The thing is when you're feeding them meat, get out of the pen. Why do you want to be there? They're eating. If they're having a bad day, why irritate them? Leave them alone. Let them just go through their bad day. It's a sense you have with animals, If you have that sense, your chances of getting hurt is minute, But if you're bullying them or doing things and you don't pay attention, then you get hurt, and that's what usually happens with people. They're not for everybody, and not everybody wants them. They're a big expense. They cost a lot of money every month to feed. It's not that they're a lot of work, but you have to take care of them. You have to know when something's wrong with them. But that's the whole idea of owning animals anyway, isn't it? Oh, come on, Nushka. Come on, Mama. Come on. Anushka. It comes from Alaska, and it means the first ray of light. So that's what I thought of. And then Sunita, the little one's name, is a Spanish name for beauty. But those are my children, as children go.
The American bison is an unpredictable and at times lazy and unconcerned animal. They appear peaceful, but this large mammal has a temperament that is totally unpredictable. Bison roam the plains of North America in their millions. Hunting decimated their population down to less than 1,000 animals. Today, things are looking up. The population is growing, and to one family, a pet bison is the perfect house companion, even if the house is a little A-frame cottage on the plains of Texas.
People that don't know me think I'm crazy, and the people that know me know I'm crazy. I've been here for 31 years, and I've been training horses for a living, and I use buffalo or bison to train my horses with. Yeah, I was fascinated with them when I was a kid and never thought about even owning one. I don't think when I was young you could legally own a bison. They're a little on the crazy side, and most people that raise cattle don't want to mess with them because they tear your pens and stuff up. They're a lot wilder than a cow is, and they're harder to handle for most people, but if you know how to handle them, they're almost as easy to work as cattle are.
Sharon and RC are both extreme animal lovers.
We both have the fascination with bison. I'm not much for the little bitty dogs or anything like that. I like the wildlife. And that's one reason why RC and I, fit together, because we both like the wildlife. The more Western it is, the better we both like it. First time I ever saw a bison, of course, with RC. I mean, in life, I've seen them on TV and all that, but first time was whenever RC brought some home to train his, cutting horses. After that, we decided to own Wildthing, and he became our pet.
Keeping a bison as a pet does have its challenges. They can weigh up to 2,700 pounds and run at over 30 miles per hour, and they can get a little grumpy.
A lot of times you got to go in the pen with them, and you got to know your distance and everything, because if you get too close, they're going to come after you or they're going to run away. And if they don't run away real quick, they're fixing to come and get you. They're the largest land animal in the United States that's native to the United States. They can outrun any horse. It's always dangerous being around a herd of bison because you don't know when one's going to attack you. And I have had them horn my horses and knock my horses all the way down on top of me.
Oh, he's been off. He's putting it back in place.
I've been in that situation a lot. One particular cow one time come after me, and if I hadn't had a jacket, I threw it on top of her horns, and I got out of the pen while she was fighting the jacket. He got me down one time 3 times in one day, and my wife had to dress me for 3 days.
Hello?
He knocked me down. He was wanting me to be a buffalo and play with him, but I got to an axe handle and explained to him we didn't do that.
RC counts Wildthing as his pet and his companion on the ranch. This big bison is, at times, almost cute.
Wildthing, of course, you know, I mean, he's a little orange calf, you know, whenever we get him. He's about 2.5, 3 months old. And of course, RC's trying to halter train him and everything, and he conquers that. But then I have a brilliant idea, and I said, well, why don't we bring Wildthing in the house? Hello, Wildthing. And he says, you don't understand. He is a bison. He could tear up your house. You may not have nothing left. And I, well, you only live once. You bring your cats and your dogs and your kids in the house, so might as well. So ever since then, we've been bringing Wildthing in the house, and he's grown up with us. He has lots of personality. Even though he's a bison, he's got personality. I mean, if he gets his feelings hurt, he goes and pouts. And you know when he pouts because he just has that certain look in his face and the certain movements that he gives. Wildthing also likes to be pushy sometimes. But then again, Wildthing can be loving. Wildthing! Hello, baby boy. But only to RC and I. Only the past 10 years, I've been able to actually touch him and groom him. I mean, I'm always out there taking pictures of him and different things like that. I can wear fringe and wear big headdresses that I make with feathers. RC, he can't wear fringe around him, not safely. So, you know, and I think it's because Wildthing's used to RC being just a cowboy, and he's used to me being just out there, because I mean, I'm always out there. So he never knows what to expect of me. But there's times that Wildthing is sitting outside, relaxing, and I may kind of crawl in and lay close to him. I can't touch him, I can't lay up against him, because then he'll jump up. But I do lay in there with him, and then sometimes RC and I both will lay in there together. And I mean, you know, he can be, you know, seem real sweet, but he's not a, you know, sweet animal per se, you know. I mean, he is a very dangerous animal for others.
Well, I'm afraid he might tear up stuff, you know, if we brought him in. But when I brought him in, it was kind of odd because he behaved himself in here. And then pretty soon I was leaving the door open, and he'd come back and forth in the house. But he never used the bathroom in the house. If he'd ever used the bathroom in the house, this deal would have never happened. He potty trained himself. I do not have a clue how you could potty train a buffalo. Now that he's gotten big, we have to move coffee tables and couches around. It's like having a small car come through your house. He has a hard time getting his horns through the doors. We've had people eat with us before at their own risk, but it's not probably perfectly safe for them, although I'm willing to lay down my life to save theirs. When the grandkids come over, we have to put up fences, we have to put up everything in the house. We don't have to when Wildthing comes down. I'd rather have the Wildthing in the house than my grandkids most of the time. So far, he hadn't tore up anything. He's just been perfect in the house. He looks at everything. He's real curious about everything in the house, but he doesn't tear up anything. A lot of times, as soon as he walks out of the house, he'll knock my barbecue pit over, but it's outside. But in the house, he's a perfect gentleman. He's unpredictable. In the house, he's pretty predictable. Outside, he's really a crazy, wild, crazy animal outside. He's very dangerous for anybody else to be around. It's taken 10 years for Sharon to be able to go around them safely. And I still want to be there for her, because I will attack him. I can't win, but he thinks I can win. Always being the alpha, you got to be the alpha. You got to have enough courage to stand up to him, even though you know you can lose. I don't have a chance against him, but he thinks I can. Once I get him by the horns, he thinks I got him. It's a big bluff.
It is likely that Wildthing is the only fully trained bison in the world. His skills go beyond wrecking the fences.
He pulls a chariot, plows a garden. He was her best man at her wedding. My boy's the first one to ski behind a buffalo on sand. And my daughter's the first one to snow sled behind a buffalo. He eats at the dining room table with us. Any crazy thing I can think of to do, I do it. He's the first one to ever pull a canoe.
There are times that Wildthing seems to get what's going on, even at a big event like his owner's wedding.
I just thought it's something different to do. I didn't know anybody ever know about it but us, but I thought it was kind of cool to have a bison or buffalo as a best man.
Our minister, he knew us already, so...
He wasn't real comfortable, though.
No, he wasn't real comfortable, but he liked it. I mean, he thought it was neat, you know, and he only said only for us, not for everybody. Our wedding has been all over the world.
He was a good gentleman. He did throw the rings off his horns, though. I see him as a little baby. I don't see him as a big buffalo. He's a baby to me. He's not big to me because I've raised him, and he's still a baby to me.
Yeah. And when you look at his little face, it just looks so sweet. So you just fall in love with him, you know.
I have no fear of him at all, but I do know when not to mess with him. He's moody. There's sometimes I know that I better leave him alone.
There is no doubt that this is a dangerous animal. It could escape and cause a lot of trouble. But to date, Wildthing has seldom wandered beyond his local street.
If he gets out, everybody just take pictures from their porch, but they know not to go around him.
Yeah.
He goes down the road about a quarter of a mile and fights a cedar tree. And I learned the first time I went down there, I better let him fight the cedar tree for a little while, because he'll come after me if I try to make him quit too soon. Mm-hmm. So I let him go ahead and fight it for a little while, then I'll put a rope around his horns and lead him home. He's got a real big barn, and he has fans in it, and I water the ground every day because it's hot this time of year, and he stays pretty comfortable. Of course, his favorite place is in the house. I go there and feed him every day. I can pour the feed in the trough. If you try to pour the feed in the trough, he'd kill you. He don't want anybody feeding him but myself and Sharon. I have let other people feed him through the fence, and he'll attack them.
RC treats Wildthing with mutual respect, but it is RC who has to do the cleaning up.
I just got a lot of joy out of him. I got to clean his poop out of the yard every day, and you know what? I'm glad it's out there so I can clean it up because I just enjoy him. I brush him every day. I spend more time with him than I do my wife. I'm in the pen with him when he's tearing up stuff usually. He may be throwing the canoe in the air or tearing the fences up. I stay in the pen with him. Ever since he hurt me one time pretty good, I think he knows he hurt me and now he don't want to. And the hard part when we're filming or doing something out there and we want a video or something, I can't get close to him when he's tearing up stuff. But for the opposite reason, you think.
Woo!
If I get close to him, he's gonna quit. Because he's gonna protect me by quitting. So if I wanna, Sharon's doing a video of him tearing up a fence, I gotta stay back far enough that he won't quit. Because once I get in a danger zone, he shuts it down. He knows I'm his best friend because I never do anything against him. I do everything for him.
Wildthing will be here
All his life.
all of his life.
Yeah, we'll never give up Wildthing. He hopefully he's middle age. He's 12 now, and he should live to be around 25 at least. I hope. Mm-hmm. And he's not going anywhere. There's no amount of money could ever buy him. He'll never be for sale.
Never.
And he would be too dangerous for anybody else to have. And one thing about the bison, there are some other trainers. There have been other trainers. I've known 4 of them killed in the last 5 years. And they kill nearly all their trainers. And he may kill me, but I hope he don't. And I sure want to protect her.
It's hard to define Tippi Hedron, the Hollywood legend and star of The Birds, Marnie, Roar, and The Countess from Hong Kong. She has been an active humanitarian, creator of a multi-million-dollar manicuring industry, and is the only actor to have worked on films with both Alfred Hitchcock and Charlie Chaplin. But her real passion is with the beauty and majesty of the big cats. Her recent biography looks into her acting career, but spends more time on her love of animals. Tippi is the founder of Shambala, a sprawling 40-acre wild animal sanctuary a few hours north of Los Angeles. Shambala is home to around 30 big cats.
I can't even imagine my life without these big cats. I can't even imagine it. I mean, they've given me so much. Certainly on understanding the species and totally respecting the qualities that are inborn into those beings and what is in that brain and what activates those instincts and just getting to know these animals. It's been a great honor. It's been something that we have to have done to be able to give them the life that we have given them, to be able to understand them. We can't understand everything about them. Enough to really give them a good life. There's something very, very fascinating about something of great beauty. The personality of the great cat is varied and elaborate and dangerous, and they can kill you without even thinking twice about it. Well, I've always been in love with them, even before I even had a possibility of going to Africa. Seeing them actually in their own environment, in their own way of life and being free, and it was an astounding time.
Shambala Reserve is not a zoo or an animal park. It was set up to take on the role of looking after animals that no longer had a home in the U.S. Some were dropped off at the gates, Others have come from circuses or zoos, and many from private pet ownership. It is estimated that over 3,500 tigers alone are in private ownership in the U.S., with many of them now too large to look after.
I don't know the exact numbers of them, but I know it has diminished because people are getting smarter. I mean, with the exotic feline, you're dealing with an apex predator. You're dealing with an animal who could just as soon kill you as just walk across the room. They are extremely dangerous. They have instincts born in them that can never be removed. And they are dangerous.
Tippi Hedron knows too well the dangers. During the production of her feature film Roar, tigers and lions featured heavily in the story. This meant working closely with a number of dangerous animals, and incidents did happen.
I had seen a number of accidents caused by these animals. I was hurt. Practically all the people on our movie had some sort of an encounter with one of the animals, with a lion or a tiger. And, they were going to name a wing at the Palmdale Hospital after us because we were there so much.
Melanie Griffith, Tippi's daughter, a well-known actor in her own right, was also on the set of Roar. Melanie was very used to having the big cats around, but even then, things can go wrong.
Gosh, she was leaned over. She did something. Anyway, one of the cats was a lion, and it got her right across her forehead. I just grabbed her and ran, got out the gate, and put her in the car, and we went to the doctor. And she had to have a whole, all these stitches put in her forehead. Fortunately, he did a really good job. You'd never know it. So I do know from where I speak, these are not animals that should be in somebody's home as a pet or in captivity in somebody's backyard in an 8x10 cage or, that kind of confinement. I think the American public is becoming smarter. They're becoming more aware of the fact that this is it's simply brutality to have those animals in a circus. It's not only brutal to keep the strict confinement that they're in, the treatment that they have in order to do those stupid tricks that they make them do is, it's obscene. It's horrible, and those poor animals, I'm surprised more people haven't been killed by these animals from the treatment they've had.
Shambala is Tippi's home. She shares the 40 acres with her cats, and in the past, it was common for some of the animals to live in the house, even to the point of sleeping on the bed with her daughter, Melanie. Tigers and lions were their pets, so much so that this image of a tiger jumping through the kitchen window was not set up. It was just one of the many daily events that happen over many years of rearing the big cats. But Tippi reached the conclusion that rather than having them as pets, they should be studied and left to live their natural lives rather than be part of the household. The decision was made to stop the interaction with the animals, especially after the dangers became more noticeable.
There was a whole group of women. They were in college. They wanted to have a photograph with a tiger. And they found the tiger, and the tiger was trained to stand there and be photographed. And they all went up and had their picture taken with the tiger, and one of them went up, and the tiger moved and stepped on the girl's foot, and she screamed, and the tiger jumped her. There are situations that are so frightening and so unnecessary. They never should happen. In fact, at one point, I remember gathering my staff around, and I said there will be no more contact with any of the animals again. Right now, it's over, it's done. And they were all really angry because they really enjoyed having that one-on-one with the animal, with the lion or the tiger. And they were smart, they knew what they were doing, but that doesn't make a difference. You're dealing with an apex predator who has the top say. They have the top word. It's a great honor to have one of these animals be your friend. To know that that animal recognizes you and likes you, but they're a weapon. They're a weapon, and they operate simply on their minds and their instincts. And you can't ever forget that. When you're not dealing with a killer, I think any kind of an animal needs to have whoever becomes the power of in a captive situation must know everything about that species, about what does that animal need, and what can I give it that they need, not what I feel like giving them. You know, I've got an 8x10 cage out in my backyard. That'll be fine. He'll fit in there. That's not enough. No, there's a great deal to know about an animal, any animal that you decide to take into your life, no matter what it is. Whether it's, my little cat that just walked by or whatever. What can I give that animal that will give him a life that he will be content? And if you look at it that way, there probably wouldn't be so many unhappy, miserable animals in captivity. I think there are a lot of people who would like to have a wild animal as a pet. Of course, it depends on the type of wild animal that you choose. However, if you're choosing an apex predator to become your pet, you're making a very, very big mistake. A huge mistake, because the instincts in those animals are it's in their brain, and there's nothing you can do to change that. They will always be a danger. You just don't ever know when it's going to come to the foreground, and most likely you wouldn't have the strength or the knowledge of how to react to it. I mean, these animals are powerful beyond belief. I don't know, the tensile strength of these animals is one that we can't, in their greatest amount of power that they exude. There isn't any way that you could fight that, other than a bullet. I feel very, very grateful that I've been able to have this life with the big cats. I am very grateful that I have managed to become an older woman. I've still got all my limbs and I'm still walking upright, because there have been times when I was put in the hospital, because you're dealing with an entity that is so powerful and so unforgiving, and they're not good at telling you what their plans are. We feel very, very fortunate that we haven't had any serious problems with these animals. And I do not recommend anyone acquiring a lion or a tiger as a pet, for any reason. The fascinating thing about them is that you just never know. I mean, you can have 10 years of just absolute angel lion, angel tiger, and then bam. It's like playing Russian roulette.
Shambala has its role. It is one place where lions and tigers can feel safe and cared for. Tippi Hedron has done so much for these animals. They are in captivity, But the respect shown to each and every one of them goes without saying. But the final word on owning a predator pet is a warning.
With the exotic cats, you're dealing with a serial killer.